Okay, we're going to call the Plaza 1006 Corporation meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. on the 28th of January. First order of business, well, we have a quorum. Alex will not be here. Our board business, discussion and possible action on the following items. We have a consent agenda that includes financial report, Plaza 10 minutes from the 10:15 meeting, and Plaza 10 minutes from the 11:05 meeting. Do we have any questions about that or any motions on that?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda.
I'll second.
Okay, got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to item B, approve the city attorney filing eminent domain annual report for 2024. This is just us giving Dick permission to file that report. That's all that is. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion we approve the eminent domain filing by the city attorney.
Okay, got a motion by Jeff. Got a second by Amanda. Any discussion on that subject? All
What
in favor?
exactly isn't beyond the report?
What's that?
What exactly isn't beyond the report?
Well, it's
I mean,
probably
we haven't
just
done any eminent
It's probably
domain,
going to
so.
be nothing because we haven't used it,
Right.
but we have to
Okay.
file it every year.
Okay.
So we'll just file it saying we haven't used that to gain any resources. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Now we're going to go into executive session at 6:03 p.m. Okay. So we will come out of executive session at 6:35 p.m. and this was just for discussion only. So we will also adjourn at
6:26, meeting called to order. We only have one thing on the agenda for this special meeting, and that is the vote for EDC and eminent domain. Do we have the city attorney here?
I make a motion to approve the city attorney filing eminent domain annual report for the Economic Development Corporation for the city of Clear Lake Shores.
Motion by Ronnie. We have a second. Second by John. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any against? Unanimous. And we...
Do I not have, let me see yours. I didn't get that in my packet. Okey doke. I didn't see it on there. Oh, there it is, hiding from me. Okay. Give you yours back. You don't need it. You're good. Okay, we will call the regular city council meeting to order at 6:37 p.m. January 28th. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. We have a quorum. Okay, so tonight we have a proclamation for the Board of Trustees for the school board, and got a couple of things I'm going to announce along with that. Give me just a second here. So our school board is a finalist in the 2025 HEB Excellence in Education Award. So I'd like to give them a shout out for that. They're working very hard for all of us and all of our children and do a great job over there. I hope you guys win that, honestly. We're pulling for you. We're praying for you. But these guys are our school board here that represent Clear Lake Shores. And we're going to start with Arturo Sanchez. As I call your name, please stand up and be recognized. He's the president. Jonathan Cottrell, vice president. Jay Cunningham is the secretary. Scott Bowen, Jeff Larson, Jameson McKay, and Jessica Cheka. If you guys are all here, please stand up. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, I will move on and read this proclamation. It's long, so bear with me. Whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the educational needs of all children and to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society and an ever-changing world. And whereas local school board members are elected by their community members to do what is best for the students and families, and whereas local school board members work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our students. And whereas local school board members are responsible for ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school system. And whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectations to the district. And whereas the Clear Creek Independent School District Board of Trustees is committed to serving the children, families, and citizens of the school district. And whereas the Clear Creek Independent School District Board of Trustees has a goal providing a high-quality public education that meets the needs of our community while remaining good stewards of public tax dollars. Now, therefore, we, the City of Clear Lake Shores, do hereby declare our appreciation to the members of the Clear Creek Independent School District Board of Trustees and proclaim January 28, 2025 as School Board Recognition Month. When we do these announcements, can I ask the council to move her up and let her give her report so she can go? Or do I have to do that? Or can I just skip down and say, I want to skip to this because Georgette has a previous engagement?
Yeah, you can move it. You can move it to right now if you want to.
I can do it right now.
Yeah, you can move that.
Okay.
That's when you're going to move the next second.
I may move that up and let her do it before we do the other announcements. Okay, thank y'all once again for that. I'm going to make a change, if you guys don't mind. Georgette let me know she had somewhere she had to be tonight, but she was kind enough to come, so I'd like to be able to allow her to give her Civic Club report now so she can get to her other engagement, if that's okay with you and you're ready. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. Thank you. For the Civic Club, about a week and a half ago, we finally had our January meeting due to weather and things, and we approved our 2025 calendar, which I submitted to the city and shared with the city. I also shared it on social media today, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll have it on the website. We also approved our budget for 2025. That is available if anyone wants to see that at our meetings. Our next event is going to be Saturday, February 8th. It's Man Cakes here in the clubhouse. Everyone is welcome. It's a great breakfast if you haven't had a chance to attend. Then following that, we have the Cajun Cook-Off, which is scheduled for Saturday, March 1st. I attended the EDC meeting last week, I believe, or maybe the week prior, and requested a donation from the EDC to help pay for the bands. The event has grown to a capacity where we're having bands for, I think, a total of about 8 hours. And the EDC approved this subject to, the EDC would be paying for it subject to the city voting on the hot tax proceeds being used for the sponsorship. Mike has been in contact with me, and I think that is able to be approved by the city. The Civic Club will be grateful for that donation so that we can use it. The Cook-Off has become our largest event. We're expecting over 500 people this year. I feel like it brings a lot of foot traffic and revenue into our local businesses, even though it's only it's hosted over at Okies. So any contribution that the city can make through the hot tax would be greatly appreciated. If anybody has any questions regarding the budget or anything like that, I'm free to answer those questions.
You guys have any questions for Georgette? Okay. All right.
And
Well, thank you very much.
I think that's it. And like I said, we'll try to get the calendar updated. And we also have some events that we need chairpersons for greatly. I really, really ask the residents to please take some time out and volunteer for the Civic Club. We really need your help in order to have these events. So I appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Okay, moving on, we'll go back in order. Reports from council. Ed Waters?
I've been asked to remind people who are walking in the dark in the morning and in the evening, please wear reflective clothing. There have been some close incidences there. So just think a little bit about it, what direction you're walking and where your reflective clothing is on the front and the back. Also, we dodged kind of a little bullet here with this freeze. We didn't have a whole lot of damage with that. Most of y'all know I work over at Home Depot, and about 10 days to a week before, people start coming in and they're just buying everything they can get. Well, 4 or 5 days before, people are still doing that, and we don't have anything to sell them. So people who, because we did dodge it, don't think that it's over. We got February coming. So we could well have another freeze in February. So take a minute and think about what you might need and go over there and purchase your items, whether it's pipe insulation or, faucet covers or whatever you need.
All right, thank you, Ed. Rick Fisher?
Well, yeah, we're here a week later because of the weather last Tuesday. I have to admit that I was very happy to see the spirit on the island. I thought I was going to be the only one being original, coming up with a new use for a knee board, a piece of rope, and a golf cart. I was just one of many. As far as the Parks Committee goes, I have not had a meeting. Mary actually just wanted me to pass on that right now they are actually waiting for the weather to dry up and warm up a little bit to be able to go out and do a little bit of freeze damage cleanup at the parks.
All right, thank you, Rick. Jeff Terrell?
One thing I really have is more on the cold weather. The communication that the city put out to the residents I thought was good. They kept apprised of what's going on in the weather days before, and I think that helped a lot too. So kudos to you guys for being open and communicating
Thank you,
with
that young
everyone.
lady right there.
And Teresa. She knows I think her. Anyway, good job on that.
Thank you, Jeff. Amanda Fenwick?
I don't have a report, Mayor.
Okay. So one thing that I'm going to remind people to do is up until February 14th, right? Put your application in and volunteer for one of these seats up here. There are 3 of us are open. That's me, Ed, and Jeff. I will say we've all put our application in first, so you're not the first. We beat you. Thank you guys for re-upping and being interested in that, and thank you for what you've done to our city so far. I appreciate it, and so does everyone else. I don't really have a whole lot to report. I will say I have a video of Rick on that knee board, just in case you need it, David, for anything. But I thought, you know, the kids were out playing and having a great time, and then here's this 6'5" guy on a knee board cruising around, and I'm going, you're a councilman, man, really? Are you setting a good example here? But no, he was having a blast, and I think his wife had just as much fun pulling him around. I was thinking she was going to go around that corner on East Shore and kind of throw him off like you do when you're tubing, but she didn't do it. So I was trying to get that on video. But you were a kid at play, and we all appreciate that. Thank you, Rick. I'm going to leave most of my report up to Mike. Mike's done a lot of work over the last couple weeks, and he's got a lot to report, so I don't want to step on what he's got. Thank you guys for coming out, and once again, we're all running again, so we would appreciate your vote. We'll move on to staff reports. Chief David Donaldson.
Yes, sir, Mayor, Council. I have Officer Locke come up front, please. He's one of our newest officers. He's been with us about 7-8 months. This is Officer Locke. Officer Rawls, come on back. Come on up. I don't know how it happens, but some people get these two confused. So they come to us. Both of them have 6 years experience, and I'm proud to have them on our team. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
So hang on, I'm not done. I got a list.
No, I'm
Okay.
saying, okay. Do you have anything else for us,
All right.
Chief?
I do.
Are we going to cut you off?
All right. So we are having a lot of feedback of misinformation. I've done the stats. Business owners coming and complaining of what they're seeing us do, which I work nights with these guys, and I've seen Keith in the bars, and it's fist bumps and elbows, you know. We stop and chat, but we mosey on through. Some of the business owners have issues with that, and they do this bar check, just walk through, be sure they be singing, you know, keep stuff down. They do it on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays, and they're going to continue to do that. I'd like to give you some stats if I could.
Yes, sir.
For the last 6 months, we did 1,912 traffic stops. Less than 4% was DWIs.
That's 6 months, Dave.
6 months, yes, from June 1st to December the 31st. And then the other is public intoxication. So, you know, Locke had an experience this morning at Skipper's of 4 older gentlemen talking negative about the department, about the chief. It's misinformation that's getting out. So let's get back to the PIs. The public intoxication that you hear so many of in the last 6 months, we did 19. 6 months. That's 1%. A little less than 1%. Misinformation's out there, and you know, I hope these stats kind of clear it up. You know, I know you get challenged a lot when you go try to enjoy your time. We're going to continue what we're doing, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of complaints, but I had started doing these every 6 months, the stats. It cuts down on time, and it cuts down on me having to do them. I'd like to continue doing them every 6 months and reevaluate it maybe in the next 6 months or so if we want to change that.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
right.
talk about that.
All right. Also, too, we're looking at a date within the next month to have pizza with the police. And to follow that, or maybe before that, we're going to do a DWI awareness PowerPoint presentation. So we'd ask everybody to come. There's going to be some good videos. The faces are blocked out. The license plate of the vehicles are blocked out. And it's a very learning what the officers have to deal with and how these drunk drivers can, take somebody's life and their condition at the time of the traffic stop. What we started doing is blood warrants. So a blood warrant takes anywhere from 3 to 4 hours to do a blood warrant, get it signed by a judge, get them processed. So all the ones are above the legal limit 4 hours later when the paperwork is processed. So these aren't borderline intoxications. This is 4, sometimes 5 if you can get a hold of the judge, because sometimes that makes it a longer process. They don't want to be woke up at night in their own call. But some of them, there's a particular judge that I have an issue with. I've spoke to him about it, and we're just not going to see eye to eye. The officers are waiting. They are out of the city when they're doing this, and he's very disrespectful. And when it comes election time, I'm going to be against him. So it's pretty clear who it is. It's on our police website, our police page. Anyway, we're going to continue what we're doing. We're going to continue with the blood warrants. When your blood comes back double, triple the limit, there's no question if you were intoxicated or not. And it's, to me, it's a better process than a breath test. So we're doing blood warrants. So that's all I have.
Thank you, David. So tell me if I'm right about this, because one thing I did hear was there are Uber and Lyft drivers now that refuse to take people because they're throwing up and whatnot. They just don't want them in their car, so they can't even get the Uber. Is that correct?
That is correct. I experienced that myself personally with a gentleman that left one of our establishments that we're aware of who it was. The Uber, we're being told that the Uber drivers don't want to come to the area because the police are so bad. When I'm out here working night, I actually driving down in front of Discount Tire, and I see somebody driving. I'm going eastbound, and I see somebody going eastbound in the westbound lanes. So these people, these Uber drivers, are following their GPS, and they're not following it correctly. I stopped him, and he was an Uber driver, and I told him, hey, you're on the wrong side of the road. But some of our videos will show that some of these DWIs that Locke and Ross have done are driving the wrong way down 2094. I mean, it's crazy. I was out working with Locke, and we ran up on one. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get killed. We need to continue what we're doing. And, we're experiencing assaults at these bars because people are overserved. They're intoxicated. And, they want to file at the time, but then the next day they're calling you. I had it done this weekend. Monday I come in, they're calling me, want to not press charges. So if you don't have a complainant, then you don't have a charge. So this gentleman, knowing that that's what they're doing, this gentleman went to jail for public intoxication. He was very intoxicated, and I don't need the complainant to complain about an assault. He's walking around with a big black eye, but he continues to go to the establishment, he said, and he just wants it behind him. So if you're out fighting, if you're getting in your car and you can't stand up, you're dropping your keys, you're dropping your phone, people are calling us saying, hey, this is happening. We actually viewed that not too long ago on a golf cart. This individual went to go put it in reverse, and they were intoxicated. They're dropping their keys, their phone. I mean, they could barely stand up. And they put it in drive, and they hopped the curb, hit the building. The officer goes to them and asks them if they can get a ride, and if they say no, they're going to walk. We can't let them walk that way. We've had them passed out at the bridge, with a foot in the water. It's just crazy. If anything, we need to do more enforcement, figure out how we're going to do that, I'm afraid somebody's going to get killed on a golf cart.
Yeah.
So, you know, a positive note is it's not a whole lot of our people that live here in the city,
Yeah.
but it's the people, a group of people that think they have influence. And they start, you know, they start telling the bar owners try to relay the information, and by the time we get it, it was skewed to start with, and now when we got it, it's like crazy screwed. So we just need to figure out what we're doing.
I could tell by looking at your numbers that we're not writing that many DWIs. Just by that percentage, we're not writing that many. And going back to what we did our research with the 27 bars and 1.5 miles on 2094, that's not a lot of DWIs. So I don't see where that's coming from unless someone's just not telling the whole story, and that's not your problem or your fault.
It's misinformation.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your report.
So I'm not done. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this, and I'm going to be getting with probably Mr. Cram here because he has a lot of experience. But, you know, I have no issues with somebody coming watching their video, right? Body cam, I don't mind. I don't mind if they want to watch the vehicle, you know, the mobile cam. But I can sit there and watch the video with them, and they're just, I mean, they're totally out of it, and they sit there and say, no, no, I wasn't drunk. I've stopped it, and I've asked them, are you not watching the same video I am? I mean, it's crazy. And then the blood tests come back, and it's almost double to triple. This is crazy. So even showing them the video, they're not acknowledging it. So the information getting out there is just, it's not correct. It's misinformation. We're going to continue walking through the bars, what we're doing, unless I'm told otherwise by the council, the city administrator. I want to continue with it. That's all I have.
Are you done now?
That's it.
I'm messing with you. Thank you for your report. I appreciate all those stats. That was something that we really needed to know. So thanks again. City Administrator Mike Cram?
This wasn't actually on my report, but after what the chief was just telling you, I can tell you he's only called me out in the middle of the night twice since I've been here. Once was for an officer-involved shooting. The other time was for an officer-involved accident where one of our officers was trying to catch a drunk driver that was fleeing the officer, who hit a Kemah police officer head-on in an F-350 truck and on Lawrence Road. And that was the first call I got in the middle of the night since I started here. And the chief said, I don't know if I've got a dead officer on Lawrence Road or not, but I'm on my way there. Can you meet me there? DWIs kill people. And my hat's off to the officers for having the gumption to do what's right, especially in the face of criticism. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you very much.
Back to my report. I'm meeting with Colliers and the contractor tomorrow to evaluate the substantial completion and start a punch list for the east parking lot. There have been delays in marking the lot as the thermoplastic specified in the plans for the markings cannot be applied on cement with an elevated moisture content. I asked the contractor today to give me a quote on painting those markings instead of using the thermoplastic. I expect to have that by the morning, and when we actually get to the point where we can paint it when the weather's right, we will close that parking lot for a Monday because at least 2 of our restaurants are closed on Monday, so we have less volume. So it'll be a one-day closure for the parking lot when that actually comes up, and I'll make sure I get with Teresa first to put that out so that our residents know. Galveston County Commissioners Court is meeting tonight to discuss the road and bridge bond. We should know late tonight or tomorrow if what's in that packet and how much. This can influence the schedule for roads and drainage projects, and I'll meet with them on Thursday, and we should know by then. The county's workshopping the list of projected projects by city or community or however they have it laid out with amounts in it tonight, so we should know somewhat with some certainty what's going to go on the bond election in May. My understanding right now is that the county is planning to fully fund the Clear Lake Road Bridge replacement. And that would be a great benefit to the city because that way we can incorporate the pedestrian bridge, which is obviously one of my front burner items. We were able to hire a very qualified candidate as the police chief's administrative professional. She has several years of experience as a legal assistant and also worked in the Justice of the Peace Court, so she has experience with the court systems and will be helpful since our team supports each other so often during lunches, absences, etc. Council, please, if you get a chance to come by City Hall and you haven't already met Julie, stop by. She's fun to be around. She's fitting into the team really well. Except I don't like noise, and she laughs at about 140 decibels.
I was going to say,
She's
just follow
got
the
jet
laugh when
engine
you get
laughter.
in City Hall. You'll find
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, you won't miss her. Today I got an email from FEMA that our subrecipient grant from Hurricane Beryl has been awarded for a little over $34,000 to recoup our personnel costs and the cost to dispose of all the green waste from Hurricane Beryl. 75% of that reimbursement comes from federal funding, and the other 25% the state has chosen to award us, specific to the Hurricane Beryl event. The process, however, is not yet complete. All the hoops we had to jump through with FEMA to fill out all the applications and paperwork and show all the documentation and records with them, we now have to do with TDM because FEMA actually gives the state the money, and then Texas Department of Emergency Management makes us the subrecipient. So looks like we're setting pretty well to get $34,000 back from Beryl. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thanks, Mike. So Darrell Apple did reach out to me today, our county commissioner, and they were talking about maybe putting that meeting on hold tonight. But they were talking today, all of them together, and have decided that that list of projects is an approved project list for them, and that is what they're going to vote on. They anticipate that being passed and moving on to being on an election in May. The other thing was when we originally talked about this and we talked about getting that on that list of projects with the bridge, it was $1 million match. It's no longer $1 million match. They're talking about funding it 100%. So it would cost us zero. And so if that does get on election and you guys get everyone you know to go vote for that, because they are very good at what they do with their finances. And I don't know how they're going to do it. He just assured me that they're going to be able to do that and still not raise any taxes. Their taxes are going to be lowered once again and still fund that bond. So that's amazing.
The law actually requires if the taxes are going to go up based on the bond issuance, it has to be noted in the language to advise the voters. So if that's not in the language, then there will not be an increase in taxes.
He was pretty sure that was not going to happen. He felt very confident. In fact, he said, you can tell your voters that tonight, I'm that confident. So that's good news for us. And I believe that bridge will include a pedestrian bridge with it, built into it. So that's a huge thing for Clear Lake Shores. And I did ask him this. I said, well, you know, we've always been told that bridge was on the list to be replaced. He said, it's never been on the list to be replaced, ever. That bridge was never on that list. So I don't know where that information came from. So thanks for getting on that right away, Mike, and getting that to them. That was very crucial that we did that in a timely manner. That'll be really good for our city. I don't have anything on the boat ramp. I didn't give it in my report. We're still waiting on them to get back to me, but the same as last time on that. I know you and I didn't get to talk about that, but we finished that first part, and we are just waiting for them to open the other application part any day now for that to take place. All right, moving on. Are you finished, by the way? Okay. Moving on, roads and drainage. Committee reports, I'm sorry, roads and drainage.
Yeah, we haven't had a meeting the last couple of months. We've been waiting for the bridge study, which is not done, but now we may change the priorities. We have a meeting coming up this Thursday, and we may change the priorities of doing maybe Narcissus before Clear Lake Road and the bridge just because of when the bond election is going to be. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Parks? Anyone from Parks?
We don't have anything, but I do have one thing I'd like to bring up.
Can you please go to the microphone? Only because whoever watches this video won't be able to hear you unless you're on that.
We don't have anything. Rick already talked about what we're waiting for the weather to get a little bit better so we can go start working in the parks. But when we were doing the Christmas decorations and judging all that, I just personally had to go out with a flashlight. So many houses do not have numbers on their houses. And I don't know what we can do as a community for that, but that was really hard to get address numbers on houses because, the mailboxes are not in front, so it's not like it shows. And I'm thinking, what about the emergency situations of fire and police trying to get to a house when a house isn't numbered? I can't tell you how many houses I did not know, and I would have to, draw a street map and go back during the daytime to try to figure out what that address was. So that's just something I wanted to bring up.
Okay, thank you. Waterfront compliance?
Nothing at this time.
All right, thank you, Ed. Planning and zoning?
Mayor and Council, the last meeting, planning and zoning, was December the 9th. That may have already been reported on, but at that meeting, Starfleet plat was approved, so that was approved and moving on. No activity on zoning board of adjustments.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Moving on, we'll skip the Civic Club report. We move that up. Economic development?
Yeah, as city administrator said, we are now finally, look like we are just about completing the big projects. The next one we're going to fork out money for is the boat ramp, which we're getting 75% back from Texas Parks and Wildlife. We don't have a lot of money to spend after all of this. We're going to have a cash flow issue of temporary nature, but it all depends on when that work is being done and when we get reimbursed by Parks and Wildlife. Other than that, we have had, there's a party that's looking at buying 770 Marina Bay Drive, Carmel's building. So they may want to start a venue there, bar, restaurant, event center.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, thank you, Thomas. Now we'll move on to public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the City Council. If the topic of discussion is related to an item on the agenda, the comments may be made now or at the time of the agenda item is discussed. If the topic of discussion is not related to an item on the agenda, the City Council cannot deliberate or take any action at this time. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual, and no yielding of time is permitted. Would anyone like to address the City Council? You're smiling like you want to go say something. Oh, did I call you out? I'm sorry. No one? Okay, we'll close the public comments and we'll move on to item 10, consent agenda, the check register, council meeting minutes from 1/7/25, quarterly investment report, and financial report. Do we have anything we'd like to pull from there or any motions on that?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as is.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda, got a second by Ed. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Item 11, new business, discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. A request from the Civic Club to provide a $2,500 sponsorship using existing hotel occupancy tax funds for the Cajun Cook-Off event scheduled for Saturday, March 1st, 2025. City Administrator Mike Cram.
Thank you, Mayor. As was mentioned earlier, that request was made at a previous meeting of the committee. A suggestion was made by Ronnie Richards to see if we had that money in hot taxes and if it was a valid expenditure. We went back the next day, checked that, and Cheryl assured me we have funds in the hot tax account, so that can actually come out of hotel occupancy tax funding if the council approves it.
Okay. We have any motions for that item?
All right, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the request for the Civic Club to provide $2,500 sponsorship using the hot tax funds for the occasion cook-off.
Okay, got a motion by Rick. Got a second by Amanda. Is there any discussion about that? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes unanimous. Item B, approve the Galveston County contract for election services. Mike Cram.
This is a formality. It just requires a vote from council to allow the city attorney to complete that report that's required every year by the state, and so that's all this is.
Okay, I'll make a motion we approve the Galveston County contract for election services.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Jeff, got a second by Amanda. Any discussion on the election? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, Resolution 2025-01, a resolution of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, designating the Galveston County Daily News as the official newspaper for the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, and establishing an effective date of January 1, 2025. Mike Cram.
This is a requirement by state law that we have a local publication as our official publication for certain items, including purchasing and that kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025-01.
Okay, we have a motion by Amanda,
I'll second.
second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item D, approve city attorney filing the eminent domain annual report for 2024. So we had to do this with Plaza 10. We did it with EDC. This is just him filing it. There's nothing going to be on it. We haven't used eminent domain, but you have to file it every year.
The state law requires it.
Well, your physical year, more than likely, I would think. Go ahead, Mike.
Against? Unanimous. And we